And with those few notes, you know that we have finally arrived at Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve this year, Wednesday, the 24th of December, and we will be celebrating in rare form here at St. John's Cathedral. Please note that we have changed our service times a little bit from previous years, and we've tried to communicate this as clearly as possible, but we do want for everyone to know exactly what our times are. We will have there is no morning service this year on Christmas Eve. We will have services at 2 o'clock, 4:30, 7 o'clock, and 10:45 p.m. It's also important to note that all four of those services will be identical. From the opening acclamation to the benediction hymn of Silent Night, the service will be identical at each of those four times. At 4:30 and at 7, there will be a half an hour of prelude that begins at that time. So the prelude will start at 4:30, go until 5 o'clock. The service will then be from 5 to 6. At 7 o'clock, the prelude will start. The service will start at 7:30 and be over at about 8:30. And that half an hour of prelude music at those two services, we will be joined by members of the Knoxville Symphony as the choir presents some of the most beloved movements from Handel's Messiah, the Christmas section, that first section of the oratorio. And they are tunes that you will be able to hum along with or sing along with. These are truly some of the most cherished pieces of the Christmas repertoire. In addition to those four services, we will also have our 10 a.m. service on Christmas Day. This is always a very intimate and special gathering for just a few of us. We usually have somewhere around 30, but we would love to have you come and add to that number. It's really a wonderful way to start Christmas Day. And of course, we have, in addition to Handel's Messiah, in the service itself, we have a lot of wonderful music. At the offertory, the choir will be singing What Sweeter Music by John Rutter, one of the most popular of the choir Christmas anthems. At communion, the choir will be singing a setting of O Magnum Mysterium that's really quite interesting. O Magnum Mysterium is a medieval Latin poem, and it's very closely associated with Christmas. O Magnum Mysterium is, oh, what great mystery. And the text talks about what a great and wonderful mystery it is that the first creatures to see the infant Christ laying in the manger were not people, but the animals, the ox and the ass, that kind of thing. And isn't it interesting that as God chooses to be manifest in the world, the first witnesses, other than the family of Mary and Joseph, of course, were those animals. So this Scandinavian composer, Philip Faber, about 15 or 20 years ago, wrote a setting of this ancient text, O Magnum Mysterium, and really wanted to lean into that experiencing God through the natural world. So while the choir, the sopranos, tenors, and basses sing this very atmospheric setting of the Latin poetry, tucked into the middle of that texture, the altos sing the melody of Fairest Lord Jesus, because that hymn text talks about experiencing God's presence in nature. And so sort of a tongue-in-cheek way, it's kind of a if you know kind of Christmas carol, but very, very beautiful. The choir will also at communion be singing a setting of the Sussex Carol that is new to us, new to our choir, by the composer Philip Ledger, who was the director of King's for many years, and it's a wonderful setting of a very familiar tune. And of course, at the service, we will be singing, O Come All Ye Faithful, Angels We Have Heard on High, Joy to the World, Away in a Manger, and then ending with Hark the Herald Angels Sing and the benediction hymn of Silent Night. So all of the wonderful hymns and carols that we expect and look forward to singing every year. The Cathedral Church will be resplendent with the flowers, and the altar and flower guild always outdo themselves in adorning our space with such beauty. And we will have many ways to celebrate the incarnation of Christ in this world. All of this to express the unbridled joy that we have that God is with us here in the flesh. And so we hope that as you and your family are gathering and making your plans for Christmas and a meaningful time for you, that you will take advantage of one or more of the opportunities that you have to worship here at St. John's Cathedral as we share the joy of incarnation with all around us. Again, those times on Christmas Eve are 2 o'clock, 4:30 prelude with 5 o'clock service, 7 o'clock prelude with 7:30 service, And then 10:45 for that intimate service with string quartet, organ and choir, the service beginning at 11 and ending right around midnight. And then if you're not too busy unwrapping gifts, join us again on Christmas Day at 10 a.m. for an intimate service to again ring out the joy of Christ with us. We hope that you will join us to worship at St. John's Cathedral.